I started my career as a co-founder. I founded a company and later sold it at a break even. Thereafter, I joined Airbus in France and moved over to Germany, and thereafter pivoted to Bayer Pharmaceuticals, the leading pharmaceuticals company in Germany, and I was working with the senior management team over there. After that, I saw that I had an inclination towards building projects. Over there also I helped build projects, and I took it further to go ahead and help build startups in Amsterdam. So I worked with an angel investor, a venture capital firm in Amsterdam, and we built several startups from 0 to 8 figures. And as of now, today I work as a consultant, I help advise startups, I mentor startups, I work with the United Nations mentoring startups, and that is something that excites me. The essential qualities I would say are two. Number one, having a growth mindset, because only if you have a growth mindset can you go ahead and learn and build or do any kind of growth that you want in your career. Number two is having interpersonal skills, because interpersonal skills teaches you about negotiation, how to talk to your seniors, juniors, anyone in your company, anyone in your project. So these are the two skills which I would say are very important. There are two fields which I would consider as very important in these current days, especially with AI and with all the technical developments that we are seeing in today's world, which are replacing our jobs. So two skills or two areas in our work which are hard to replace by any kind of algorithm are: number one, how to build. If you have technical expertise, and if you're in a tech industry, you can learn how to build stuff, but let it be in your project, let it be in your startup, in your company, anywhere. And number two is, if you know how to sell it, that is sales and marketing, then you are going to learn and you're going to be at ease to build anything and sell anything. The most important jobs in the future would be something that are not replaceable by AI. That is easily something which requires a human connection, a human touch. So any kind of roles which need, for example, managerial roles, which need you to manage people, no kind of AI can do that. No kind of machine can do that. And those are the kind of jobs that would be flourishing in the future. One of my favorite books, especially business books, is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, because in that book he teaches and mentions how you can build monopolies, which are any projects or anything in your niche that you can take from 0 to 1. Another famous and well-known book is The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, someone who's quite famous in the Silicon Valley for all the companies and the investments he has done. In that book, he tells the real life learnings and insights that he has gone through and he has seen in industry, how the internet industry has changed. So these are two books which I would recommend to every business person. Learning, I would say, is the most important meta skill anyone can have, and learning comes from curiosity. It is far more important to understand what one wants to learn rather than learning everything, because today we have everything at our fingertips and we cannot learn everything. So I would say learning is important, lifelong learning is important, but with a direction so that you can scale up in your field too. A lifelong learning concept, I would say, as we are learning stuff right from childhood to our adult life, we are learning at each stage, at every step. So that is something which is crucial. And many people, we stop, especially when we come in careers where we sort of, for the lack of better word, we get comfortable in certain roles, in certain positions. And that's where our learning stops. And that's where also our growth stops. So lifelong learning is something I see as quite crucial. And it comes with always getting out of your comfort zone, that is, taking on new challenges, new roles, new opportunities, and having the ability to fail also in that, because that's where the growth would come from. One of the biggest ladders, I would say, in my career, which helped me achieve, let it be giving TED Talks or let it be mentoring startups with 8-digit founders, seed funding founders. I think one of the biggest learnings or biggest ladders to achieve this growth was that to have mentors and at the same time to have directed learnings through courses, through cohorts. So all of this combined made it a ladder for me to skip and achieve much more than I could have without these. I chose to join Ultima because of several reasons. One of them was the format, which I felt was something which is very much needed. This is not like a regular course. This is a course which has deep expertise and experience at the same time, where you're learning real life. For example, with these case studies, how do you navigate through real life scenarios? Case studies tell you how do you do that. The theory cannot tell you how to navigate in certain situations. So number one was that. And secondly, with the team, the entire team has been super dedicated and motivated towards the students. So that is something that resonates with me. And that's why I loved to work with Ultima.